I am terrified of my basement flooding. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Travis and this is how I do things. If you're also afraid of your basement flooding, then I made this video just for you. Today I'll be installing this Wayne half horsepower sump pump along with a backup pump and a battery backup. A sump pump itself is a backup and it's designed to remove water from your sump pit in the event of a heavy rain. But sometimes your backup needs a backup. There are several ways you could end up with water in your basement, even when you thought your sump pump had you covered. Number one, your sump pump might just be too small to keep up with heavy rain. Mine barely kept up in the last storm, which is why I'm here right now. Number two, your sump pump could just fail. Number three, you could lose power during a huge rainstorm. I'm going to unbox this thing and talk about why this sump pump system has me covered for most situations that might cause my basement to flood. The first thing I want to point out with this kit is this big half horsepower primary pump. I don't know what's in my pit now, but usually they're about a third horsepower, so this pump should have no problems keeping up. Then this kit comes with a DC backup pump in case your primary pump fails. This system also comes with a check valve, a coupler, and a battery backup system in case your power goes out. The 120 volt primary pump is capable of pumping 5,100 gallons per hour. And the DC 12 volt backup pump is capable of pumping 2,700 gallons per hour. The recommended Wayne battery is rated at 75 amp hours, but it is not included. So seeing as how I need a new battery anyway, I decided to upgrade to this Duracell 110 amp hour battery. It's deep cycle and maintenance free. This battery is also ridiculously heavy. I put a link to most of this stuff down below. So let's just talk about this pump a little bit more. It's got a couple things that I really liked. The first thing is this Y piece, which connects the two pumps together so you don't have to worry about two pipes exiting your home. This is the float for the primary pump. On the back here is the float for the secondary pump. I love that these things have cast iron bottoms. They seem super durable and heavy duty. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started installing this pump, but while I'm doing that, voice over me is going to be talking more about this pump and telling you exactly what I'm doing. But before I remove the old pump, I'm going to bypass the float to try to remove any water that might be in the pit. The Wayne system comes with a check valve, which is recommended. The check valve prevents all the water in the tube from running back into the sump pit, which causes the pump to keep kicking on and off. The Wayne check valve gets installed just above the basin. However, I'm not going to use it because my system already has a check valve in the right location. Next, I took my sump pit cover off. I have a radon reduction system, so my sump pit was sealed. Once the cover is off, we can see the old pump. It looks like the old pump was a third horsepower, so the half horsepower pump should be a big upgrade. Based on the specs, my new pump can pump more than twice the gallons per hour. Now that the old pump is out, I want to make sure the bottom of the sump pit and the area around it are clean so my new pump doesn't suck up any dirt or garbage. Then I measured the distance from the ground to the discharge pipe on both pumps. The new pump is taller, so I cut the discharge pipe to accommodate the extra height. Then I cleaned up the end of the discharge pipe and the flashing on the pump assembly with some sandpaper. Then I installed the coupler onto the pump assembly with PVC primer and glue. I really like that this kit comes with a battery box with a built-in trickle charger to make sure your battery stays charged. It also has simple LED indicators to let you know the status of the system. If the power transformer is unplugged or the power goes out, an alert tone will sound for 30 seconds. Once the sump pit is clean, the new pumps just sit right on the bottom. I'd like to point out that this kit requires a minimum of 15-inch diameter and 22-inch deep sump pit. The new sump pumps were highly rated on Amazon and seem to be of high quality. If your sump pit doesn't have a basin, be sure to use bricks or something under the pump so you aren't sucking up mud. The pump should be positioned so the floats are away from the water inlets and at least 1 inch away from the sides of the basin. Be sure to check the float to make sure it's free to move up and down without hitting anything. Once the pump is properly positioned, glue the discharge tube to the pump assembly and reinstall the cover. If your system does not have a check valve, install the one that was included in the kit above the cover. Next, we need to install the battery backup system so the basement will be protected if the power goes out. Now just plug all the wires into the lid of the battery box. Wayne was good about making the connectors impossible to connect wrong. Now connect the terminals to the battery. I'd like to point out that the Duracell battery that I'm using has M8 threaded posts. Now just plug in the power supply to a GFCI protected outlet. I also noticed that the discharge pipe was just dumping water right next to my house and was draining back down to my drain tile. To fix this, I added this drain extension to get the water further away from my house. I even utilized my landscaping to hide it as much as possible. I put a link to this extension kit down below. Alright, I'm not sure you guys quite picked up on what just happened there because it was kind of hard to film, but basically I disconnected everything. Everything is completely unplugged, and then I filled my sump pit until it kicked on by itself. And before it kicked on, it beeped, and then it pumped the thing totally clean, super quiet. So the backup pump works great and the battery backup works great. Now I'm just going to plug this stuff back in and then lift the float on the primary pump just to make sure that's pumping okay. Seeing as how my sump pit was sealed because of my radon reduction system, I waited until I was done testing to fully install it. Once it was screwed back down, I reinstalled the wire grommet and sealed everything back up with silicone caulking. Well, that is it. I am done. Thank you so much for watching my entire video. I hope I saved a few people from having water in their basement. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit like and subscribe and watch another awesome video up here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.